Hello and welcome to the Legacy Crusaders YouTube channel. This is Benji. Today I'm joined by, if you're not familiar with Mike Thomas, he is the Trishula TTV on Twitch. And
Yes.
just both topped the Remote Duel ICS playing this Dragon Link list, and the NAWCQ this week playing this Dragon Link list. We're going to focus on this one. If anyone's not familiar with the How to Play series, I'm going to call it play-by-play series going forward. I bring a guest on who knows what they're doing with the deck. I try to ask the questions that you, the audience, might have over a few games on YGO Pro and whatever random stuff they give us. And I'll try and ask all the questions. Mike's going to tell me what to do. I'm just going to do whatever he says, and I'll try and question it from the perspective of someone who has no idea how to play dragons. Yeah. If you have any more questions or specifics about combos, you can find that on Trishula TTV on YouTube. Do you go by something else on YouTube?
Yeah, it's just Trishula on YouTube. Trishula TTV is my Twitch. I do a lot of Master Duel content over on Twitch. We're live pretty much every day or all the time. Pretty much public access Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel. But on YouTube, I post a lot of Dragon Link content, like combo tutorials, guides, like in-depth explanations on the deck, card choices, etc.
All right, it sounds awesome, and that's kind of what I'm going to force you to do in game here. Because a lot of things, when you look at it and just test hands, it all seems theoretical. When you actually put us up against an opponent, we have to make changes on the fly. That's in theory why this should work. All right,
Absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna do a quick card by card. So in case somebody, for whatever reason, has no idea what these cards are named, I'm just gonna name them real fast. I'll do this as fast as we can, and then we'll get straight into a couple of games. We'll come back to at the end of the video if there's anything that didn't come up that is worth addressing. We got 1 Chaos Dragon Levineer, 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, 3 Black Metal Dragon, 3 Star Leech Seifert, 1 White Dragon Wyver Burster, 1 Black Dragon Collapse Servant, 3 Bestial Soronir, 1 Druis Worm, 3 Lubellion, 3 Magnemut, 2 Rocket Tracer, 1 Rocket Caliber, 1 Rocket Recharger, 3 Nibiru, 3 Effect Veiler, 1 Absorouter Dragon, 3 Chaos Space, 3 Quick Launch, 3 Ash Blossom, 1 Dragon Ravine, 1 Boot Sector, 1 Branded Regained, 1 Branded Beast, 3 Imperm. In the extra, we're on 1 Striker Dragon, 1 Pisty, 1 Hieratic Seal, 1 Romulus, 1 Dark the Dark Charmer, 1 Triple Burst Dragon, 1 Nightmare Eunuch, 1 Access Code Talker, 1 Borderland Dragon, 1 Chaos Angel, 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Borreload Savage Dragon, 1 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, which we'll probably cut for this video because we don't have time here, 1 Bestial Dissipator, 1 Hieratic Dragon of King Atum, 3 Droll, 1 Dino Wrestler Pankratops, 3 Dark Ruler No More, 3 Searching the Out, Triple Tactics, Task Thrust, 1 Harpies Feather Duster, 1 Talents, 2 Eradicator Epidemic Virus, and 1 Destructive Daruma Karmageddon. Trish, any parts of your deck list that people may not understand why they're here? Anything that's very different?
Yeah, I mean, I think this list is much more standard compared to a lot of Dragon lists that are floating around right now. In terms of stuff that might seem a little bit strange to people if you don't play dragons, the Daruma Karma Cannon and 3 Triple Talons Thrust is a side pattern thing for decks like Kashtira that might put in Dimension Shifter against you. Dimension Shifter pretty much just ends our life. There's not much you can do against that. So the Thrust and the Karma Cannon, if you get shifted, you can just thrust for Karma Cannon or just set Karma Cannon. And against Kashtira, they'll special a name, search, play Birth, normal summon. And if you just hit them after they normal summon, book all their monsters, there's nothing they can do from that point. So they're going to just pass back to you. You won't be under shifter anymore, and you'll freely be able to just like OTK and use your full hand to just deal with all of their setup.
Okay, I have one
pretty
quick
easy way.
question about that, because I've been trying to play Thrust as a package, like going first in like my own deck. Any thoughts on playing Thrust going first? And if it's not, I understand why it's better going
Yeah.
second, because you'll probably be able to activate whatever card you search. Whereas if you play it going first and you get hand trapped, and then you can at best set a trap card, then you got to play a trap you might not use. Any thoughts about playing it going first, maybe?
Yeah, so that's what we do it for. We do it for when we go first, is for specifically into Dimension Shifter. And then the other thing that maybe isn't as standard is me playing hand traps. I think it's really popular right now to main deck like 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Book of Eclipse, and 3 Emperor or Nibiru as your 9 defensive cards in Dragon and play 43 cards. I bumped that up to 47 with 12 hand traps instead, because I felt like hand traps just were better into a broader range of matchups other than Kashtira, and also synergize really nicely with Branded Regained because you can just draw them off of the Regained. And I don't even know how many matches I've just won simply by summoning a Bestial on my opponent's turn, drawing a card off of Regained, and it was like Effect Veiler or Nibiru or something. And it's just, oh, okay, I'm just going to hand trap you now. I found an extra interruption for free.
All right, cool. Anything else you think stands out? I think most of this looks fairly standard to me, so it's hard for me to ask questions about it.
Yeah, no, this is a pretty standard Dragon Link list. Some people don't play like The black metals, those are just additional normal summons that plays really nicely into Droll and Lockbird because you always want to see like a good normal summon in this list right now. Caliber for me was a new addition. I think it's been popular for a little bit, but I wasn't playing it during the remote duel YCS.
I watched both of your videos. You mentioned it's what do you do when they deal with your tracer, and you said it shouldn't
Yeah.
happen enough, but
Yeah, the idea is that it was there. There's two things that you can do with it. It's so if you get Book of Moon on your tracer or on another card, you can freely pop yourself to get into another tuner, just so you still have access to it and get into that dissipator. And then there's also another line where instead of summoning the recharger from your deck like you might normally do, so this usually comes up when you start with Safer, you can use the Safer to add something like a Lubellion back to your hand, and then you'll search for a Magnemite or something, summon the Magnemite, summon your Tracer, pop the Boot Sector, and get Caliber, make your Dissipator, get back that Safer, and then you'll get into your Savage. And then that way you've recycled the Safer for the next turn.
all right, that's pretty cool. Anything else you can think of that's worth mentioning that people may not have seen?
No, I think a lot of this is straightforward. I think it's pretty standard for Dragonlink. Some people have asked me why I didn't play Baldrake. And personally, I just didn't think that Baldrake was all that necessary. I felt like it was the only bestial that wasn't super proactive. It was more reactive than proactive, and I just felt like I didn't need more reactive cards in the deck.
Okay, as a non-dragon player, I might not be familiar with why Saronir is a 3 of. Feels like Druisarm might do more, but I guess you really want to get access to both bestial cards, branded cards.
Yeah. Oh no, you'll definitely see it. Sarnier is probably the best one in the deck because other than Magma, of course, because it gets you into that Lubellion. So as long as you have access to Sarnier, you have access to Lubellion, which means you have access to Magma. So just using it as an extender is just really nice because you just get to dump that Lubellion and then you can get into your bestial engine very easily.
Okay, cool. All right, that makes sense. All right, cool. Now, because we're playing on YGO Pro and time is not a real factor here, I think we can cut this Scarlight to have access to. Is there another card you would play if you didn't feel like Scarlight was at least worth playing? If anyone's not familiar, you play this for time because it does.
Honestly, you could leave it in because I never actually summoned that card in time when I was playing. I did make it once and it was not in time. I just used it for the Raigeki effect. But the other card that was when I was deck building was one copy of Zeus, because the idea with that was that you can use the Hieratic King Tomb without using its effect to special from deck, and then just punch something and then make a Zeus if you needed to. I feel like that should pretty much never come up. But the other thing too is that post siding, you can use the triple tactics talents to take in a Rise Heart or something, and then turn it into a Zeus against the opponent. So there's some
Alternate
merit to playing
options.
Zeus.
Okay.
Yeah, like I would just leave Scarlet in though, because
Okay.
why
It'll be
not?
fun
Why
if it
not?
comes up.
Yeah, it'll be fun if it comes up, and I think it'll really show that there's a few cards in the extra deck that are more luxuries than necessities, if that makes sense.
All right, cool. All right, so we'll get into the games right now.
Sure.
All right, just making sure the settings are right. Okay, cool. So I recorded How to Crystal Beasts yesterday.
Sure.
The Crystal Beast guy.
Absolutely. Love Neshi.
Yeah, he's fantastic. So I still have the
Great guy.
username down as Zenith. So I guess we'll go first.
Yeah, of course.
All right, and just walk us through, and I'll try and do the audience justice and ask reasonable questions.
All right. This is a little bit of an awkward hand, so I would start with a quick launch. All of our bodies in hand are just extenders. Yeah, so we can just start with Tracer. I think now you just make Striker, obviously, and get your Boot Sector. And now we have a choice here afterwards. You can potentially go Striker Dragon, hop yourself, get back the Tracer, potentially. And that would enable you to go for Dispotter pretty early on. Or we could just banish the Tracer. I'm not really opposed to either.
So our options are what? Hieratic Seal versus like Dissipator?
We're gonna get the Hieratic Seal either way. It's just so one of the things about Dragonlink is that it's less about building a board and more about baiting your opponent into using hand traps against you. And every time I get hand trapped, I feel like I'm doing better because that's just one fewer card that I have to think about them having.
Yeah, I watched your video
Uh,
yesterday. You called it hand looping themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So I think what I would probably do is I don't think it's gonna matter. So I think you can just banish the Tracer with the Magnemite.
Okay. And I know we're going to often have multiple options, but we'll just pick one. We'll discuss the merits of the play we made. And then during their turn, when they're thinking, we can go over our other options that we did not use.
of course. So one of the reasons you might have done that like striker target play is maybe to try and bait out a bestial or something. Because if they chain the bestial and target your striker or your tracer, the striker dragon would just pop. But then we would just pass on Magnemite. So I think now we're just gonna go for Romulus, and now we get our search.
The only Dragon Link I played is a little bit after Shuping brought it out. Like, he played, like, some
Sure.
Phantom Knight variant that I wanted to play. That's, like, the only one I played.
Oh yeah, that was a really nice variant. Let's go a little bit heavier combo because they haven't hit us with an Imperm yet. So let's go Dragon Ravine. And I'm gonna say let's go Dragon Ravine, pitch the boot sector. And
Alright.
let's just hard send the Lubellion.
Alright.
Now, if we check our graveyard, I think what we can do is we can go. Let's do effective Druis Worm and target the Magnemite. We could have also dumped it might have actually been better to dump the Sarnier here,
Just to have
but
that extra banish target.
yeah, but let's
Well,
just banish the Magnemite. I think it's gonna work out just fine.
alright.
And then let's summon out the Lubellion by sending the Druis Worm, and let's activate Regained, I think. Because like I'm gonna send us more like heavy combo because it doesn't seem like they're doing anything. Now I would link off into Seals, and now I would banish the Lubellion with the Collapse. And we're not gonna use Regains until we banish Striker with Wyver Booster.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I would go make Pisty.
On the left, right?
Yep. And then we search our Wyver Booster. And then we're gonna banish Striker Dragon and put back the Striker Dragon.
The Striker Dragon is your preferred shovelback?
It depends on the situation. I think with how we're playing it this way, like just to show off that you can do stuff like this, I think it's gonna be preferred here. Yep, now we put it back, and then you can go Wyver into that Striker Dragon. And I think the idea is that we're going to then go for the Tracer, like with Pisty, because now we've recurred that banished resource. Okay, cool. So he's hand looped himself for 1. That is fine. What do we have access to? Okay, that's fine. What's in our graveyard? We have the Druis. Yeah, that's all fine. I would just set the Imperm now, and then end phase we'll just add back our Druis Worm to hand.
That's the preferable ad at this point?
I would say so.
Just confirming. Okay. 'Cause there's so many
Yeah, because
options
we
with this
did.
deck. I like just playing, like, Magnemite and, like, a rocket package. Like, I'm playing, like, Phantom Knight Orcus right now, and it's just to have something
Right.
like, I love the options you have available when you summon Magma, but I'm
Yeah,
not
because
playing.
we basically hand looped him now for 2. I would actually, because he's activating this, I would use this. I would use the seal
What are we
and
returning?
then Striker Dragon, probably.
Okay. Because I know we also have the option of, Tribute itself, right?
Yeah.
Because we also have the option of letting it get negated so we don't have to bounce anything, but I guess recycling Striker is a good idea.
Yeah. And then we're just summoning Magnemite and triggering.
Right.
So one thing we could have done here, like we're playing a little bit greedy, but I think this is best of 3, right?
Yeah, it is.
We still have 2 disruptions. We don't know what we're playing against. And oh, okay, it's Altergeist. So this is
Wild
still,
West of Yu-Gi-Oh!
yeah, like we don't really care about anything. If he goes battle phase, we can just let him do whatever. He'll probably just send the Imperm anyway.
We could impermanent, then he can't. Then I guess we take
Alright.
50 left damage, but then they.
Yeah, it's not really gonna matter. Yeah, he's sent regain. That's totally fine with us because
The trap resets it,
uh,
right?
yeah, exactly. One thing we could have done if we were afraid of him sending regained would have been like we could have just summoned the Druis Worm and put back our seals and drawn a card. We don't know how he's gonna play, so I don't feel like we need to like do anything too fancy. Yeah, this is fine.
Should we try to
Uh,
Druis to get a draw? We didn't draw yet this turn, right?
no, because he got rid of the regained.
Yeah, I forgot. Totally spaced.
Yeah, that's what I was saying is that we could have done something like that. I think we now just add Levian here.
Alrighty. We got 2 back row, multi-faker in hand. We got imperm. Okay.
Yeah, we're chilling. So can we check our graveyard?
Oh, certainly.
Let's see. We
They're going
got,
to activate protocol in standby.
yeah, that sounds about right.
So now imperm doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to matter too much because we have the Levian here. We are going to have to clear the bodies though. I would change the. Oh,
There's no real targets.
we can banish our own cards though.
Oh.
So
So just to verify, you were thinking of summoning before he really wanted to tribute the Faker?
yeah, because then he would have had to have used protocol to tribute Faker, and then he can't Silkweedos bounce Faker back. But
Well,
either way, I think this is fine.
okay.
Let's see. Rely. I would go start with Lubellion and just see if he negates. We can go start Lubellion for Magnamut, summon Magnamut if he might negate anywhere. Actually, we can go even further. Let's just tribute the Magnamut and summon the Lubellion right away.
Attack
And
position?
then, yeah, we're going second, right?
Yeah, I'm not used to seeing this card in attack position. Just doesn't happen enough for me.
Yeah, I feel like I actually see it in attack more than I do in defense, funnily enough.
I hear you. No one around me is playing the deck, and I don't have Lubellions. So, all right, where do we go?
Is he thinking right now?
He's not.
I think so.
We could activate.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so let's activate Branded Beast now, because this is going to bait out Protocol most likely.
It should, because they might not think about us getting double value out of it. Branded Beast can be used on both players' turns, right?
Yeah, as long as we're in the main phase.
Oh, okay.
So I would just activate it right away and just tribute the Pisty off your field and target the trap card.
The other set?
No, for Protocol.
Okay, so this would force a bounce if they wanted to bounce something now to keep Faker, or would they bounce Faker? Okay.
No, it's just bouncing the trap. Perfect. And now we can just slam Levy and
Give him Perm if we want to use it now, if it makes sense to.
No, I don't even think we matter because he's just giving us a resource back.
Fantastic. I was just thinking it was dead before, now it's live. That's the only card worth using it on, if you can think of it as usable. All right.
I think he's just dead this turn now. Like, I would just now go summon Levianeer by banishing Seals and 2 Darks.
Reference on...
I would actually keep the Seals in the grave because we can put it back with regain.
All right.
So, just the 2 Baby Dragon Pisty.
Gotcha. All right.
And then we can just blow up his last back row and probably the Link Rebo, because he's already used Silquitos, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so back row and Link Rebo.
Oh, Brick Rock.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a way to activate a trap card first turn, but it's a super brick. You never want to open that card.
I see. He bounced back our Lubellion, so now we can just Dragon Ravine, pitch the Lubellion, and just dump Absarautor for Tracer.
I always feel weird getting rid of my boot sector so early.
Yeah. It was just like with that hand, we knew we were pretty much just going for seals. We were just testing for hand traps and stuff because he wasn't doing anything.
Gotcha.
Normal Tracer and then pop the Dragon Ravine. There's not really much left in deck that we need.
Is this time for the Caliber?
What's in our banished? Do we have a Safer banished?
I think I can pull that up. 1 second. We do not currently have a Safer banished.
You know what? Let's go for the Caliber. I think we have a cool play.
Cool.
We can summon Caliber and then let's summon a Magnamut.
They have anything to banish? Linkuriboh.
I would actually leave them if they only have 1 Dart because we can Dart Charmer it later.
Oh, okay. The Faker will be a Dart. But I guess for during this turn.
But we're before battle phase. So I would just get rid of the Absarautor because it doesn't really do anything.
All right. Should I be protecting any of our zones for a link play?
Yes, but not in this board state.
Okay.
So normally how I like to split up the field is you can think of,
5, if that helps.
Yeah, think of it differently. I split it up between a pyramid and an L. Like, because there's 2, if you think about it, you can make a triangle with one of the extra monster zones in either 1 through 3 or 3 through 5.
We'll come back to this in a bit because we are playing with a random opponent who doesn't know they're on video, so they might not sit through for it, but I am interested in the breakdown. We'll come back to it after the match.
All right, so we're going to be trap deck, we're going second. I would put in Pankratops, the 3 Thrust, and Harpies because they play multi-faker.
All right.
And then we can think about Erad maybe. I would take out the black metals and the red MD.
Okay.
And then
I don't think they play into Nib.
Yeah, we can take those out for free. How many cards are we at in deck?
We are at 47.
Yeah, then that's an easy side pattern. We're pretty much done. If you want, we could take out one of the Erads for talents. Maybe we could take out a Veiler for talents. Any of those work. I think I would just take out a Veiler for talents personally.
All right, sounds good. That's the other problem with this series. I have to be somewhat mindful of the opponent's not willing to stick around.
Oh, yeah.
It's doesn't come up that often, but every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yesterday we used the super rainbow over dragon thing and did 9,000 damage through using prosperity. So it took a while to figure out the
yeah, but what I was gonna say was you can split up the board into a pyramid and an L.
So this is the pyramid here?
Yeah, that's a pyramid, and then you have the L where he has the Link Rebo. So those 2 zones in that L, that's where you put your completed parts of your board. So stuff that you've already dealt with, you can put there. So that's where you put your synchro monsters and stuff, or if you want to play around Book of Moon, and then just keep the pyramid open.
So the pyramid is our side of the board, and the L is whatever side they have their extra monster in?
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much. Because you want to be mindful of stuff like Book of Moon and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Here, I think I would just start with Pankratops. And then I don't think we're going to use a... Yeah, sure. Okay. So He just judgments right away. And summons multi-faker. So what I think he's gonna do is if we normal summon the safer, he's just gonna bounce it. So let's just normal safer. And then is he thinking? Yeah.
Yes, they are. It'll say waiting up top here. If they're thinking,
Okay.
and we have a timer that's ticking, and they have a timer that's ticking. So whoever's good call.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So now the only thing we really lose to is Ash or another judgment. So I would just go Chaos Base and I would pitch one of those Safers and just grab Collapse Serpent. And then I would activate Regained just so that we have it on the field. And then ooh, that's annoying.
Indeed. All right. That limits our play lines a little
A
bit.
little bit, but it's still okay. What's the defense on Silk Widows?
It is 1500. They do have the Link Haribo.
That's fine. Let's just go. Let's play Regained. And then let's go summon the Collapse Serpent, I think.
Just verifying we have just one light to work with. Okay.
Yeah. Let's summon the Collapse. Because that way we can get a search if
We could
he
also
gets over it.
we can also attack with Collapse, and then when he triggers Link Haribo, we can
Exactly.
summon Sarnier. Okay.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. So let's just go battle phase now and just swing into the Link Rebo. He'll use the effect, and then we will not redeclare. And then we will use the Sarnier, exactly like you said. And then we'll just beat over the Silk Widows, make seals, and just pass.
Okay. Feels a little upsetting to lose our Collapse Search, but I guess there's no perfect scenario under Droll.
Yeah, but we're still okay because we know one card in his hand, but he has one card set, and then we can just make seals very easily. And then we get to dump probably our Lubellion. But one thing we could maybe do is we could theoretically dump the Magnemite so that if he normal summons, we get it for free without having to use the seal effect to bounce.
That deck has to normal pretty often, so odds are that's what's going to happen.
I think I still just like sending the Lubellion though. Just
Okay.
get it into rotation because we have a Safer in hand, so we'll be able to get that for follow up next turn, and we can just pass now freely.
Okay.
And because we have the Regained and Chaos Space as well, like next turn we'll be able to just go Safer for Wyver Burster, banish the Collapse. Yeah, that's fine. We don't care about that.
And we don't intend on bouncing the Regained.
Yeah. So we're gonna get Sarnier now just for free, and we're still gonna be able to tribute ourselves with seals just to get to Magnemite, which is all we really cared about anyway. Which means we'll be able to get into our levy to deal with his board.
In case anyone's not familiar, the seals effect engrave is a separate effect and is mandatory if it's tributed in the EMZ.
Yep.
All right. I never know to what degree I should like cover things when the plays come up. Some things
Yeah.
feel like people should know them by now. Seals is like 5, 6 years old. But
Something like that. It always shocks me when people ask to read my cards at events because Dragons has been like such a common meta deck for
this is the
3-4 years. Yeah, these are the cards from Duelist Nexus, I think.
turning Altergeist into a slight combo deck. So this brings that back in defense, but it can't activate its effect.
Yep.
This get foolish or something? No.
I'm not sure. I think he's going for the Link 4 probably.
Yeah, they eventually get there.
Yeah, that's gonna just be like a snatch steal. He'll probably try to snatch steal the seals or something, and we'll just like chain make Magnemite, trigger Magnemite.
Okay, so they already started with Faker. So this is the one that foolishes so they're probably gonna search Marionetter, and then this foolishes the trap that lets them get the extra normal summon. I think.
Yeah. Do you know if here's what I would do here because I don't know where they're gonna go from here. I would use the seal and get the Magnemite and trigger it to search in the end phase now before they do something scary.
Okay.
Okay. Never mind. They just did something scary. That's okay though.
When it's Link Summon, they set a trap. They can't use it this turn. That adds back from grave.
That's fine.
So there shouldn't be a way that they can get into a negate because they're locked into no Altergeist.
Yeah, not this turn. Not this turn. But they're gonna have protocol for next turn, most likely, right?
Yeah, this is gonna set a trap card. When this card is Link Summon, you could set one Altergeist trap card directly from your deck. Does this thing target? Okay, it does target, and they targeted Saronir. Makes sense.
And that's to do what?
It takes control of it. Target and effect monster your opponent controls take control of that card.
That's fine.
And if you do, it's also treated as an Altergeist. Okay, just trying to see if there's a reason to rush the sphere. There's not a reason to not rush it at the same time.
I mean, there is in case he has any way to negate Magnemite, but it doesn't seem like it. That's why I was saying like that we should have done it earlier is because I couldn't remember if the new Link 4 activates from deck or places. Or like activates or sets, but it's set, so it's fine.
Gotcha. A lot of good stuff coming out in the next set. I want to see Altergeist. Is it the next set for the new? What do you call it?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I was thinking Unchained stuff. This also looks cool.
Yeah, the Unchained cards seem pretty good. The cards I think I'm most excited for are the Oh, this is a problem. Okay, we should have used seals earlier.
He still doesn't have access to the.
Oh, that's right. It doesn't
I mean,
place.
we can use it so it stops asking, but I don't think it'll make a huge difference. Like they haven't gained any new cards or anything that would make a
Right.
difference. Magma defense.
Yep. Magma and defense.
And because the Sorinir was summoned this turn, they can't change its battle position. Let's see, what's this card do when it leaves the field? Anything? No.
I don't think so.
Most of them do. That's why I'm just double checking. I think other than a really bad one, one of the original ones, is a really bad Link 2. It does something in the battle phase where if it like destroys a monster, it takes control of it. But it's like really weak.
That's not Pram Banshee, is it?
No, Prime Banshee's decent. That's the Link 3. That's in the graveyard.
Yeah.
I actually like Prime Banshee. A lot of people like avoid it or didn't care about it enough. But once you get like all the Geist that float in rotation, you just float all 4 of them every turn. But the games are just too fast now for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Prime Banshee returns. Like this is going to float a trap back now. I guess they didn't get any in the graveyard.
Are they locked into Altergeist? Are we
Yeah,
dead?
they summoned Faker at the beginning of the turn.
Oh.
They Judgment summon Faker.
Got it. I was just saying this. Are we getting access coded right now?
No, but I think the other Link 4 does attack twice, so we might be dead, but I'm not familiar enough. Also, they made Sorinir an Altergeist with this card, so maybe they'll be able to get into that too. There it is.
Maybe. What does this one do?
I'll run in. Oh, all right. During the battle phase, quick effect, tribute one other monster. This card gains attack equal to that tributed monster on the field. When this card destroys a monster by battle, you can tribute one monster your opponent can. You can destroy one monster your opponent controls, and if you do, this card can make another attack in a row.
Okay, but we only control the one monster.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a problem. Anything we want to send with Sorinir?
I would just send another like Lubellion or something.
Okay, just making sure. That's why I got distracted for a second. I'm like
you're
trying to
good.
read this card, but I'm like, do I have to activate this? All right.
Yeah, usually I just start dumping Lubellion just so that like I have multiple in case one of them gets hit with a bestial.
Okay, and just so we know, they have protocol set and manifestation set for next turn. So, if
And
it
then
wasn't
did
for
they loop
regained,
the? Which one did they loop? Did they get back the synchro one or did they get back the multi-faker?
go to hand. Hard to check at this point. 2 seconds.
There you go.
There's a log here. It's not the best. Pretty sure they added back Faker. Let me just see if Faker's in the graveyard. If it's not here, then that's in hand. Oh, what did they add back?
I think they added back the tuner guy.
Tuner guy?
Yeah,
The new one? Oh, this one?
yeah.
That one
Was
adds
it
back when it gets Link summoned, but they should have been able to add something back with Prime Banshee earlier. I just don't know what it is.
I'm gonna assume it's faker. Let's just grab Levy.
All right.
And like these mid-rangey matchup, Levy is just like such a free ad.
All right. Ooh.
Oh,
Well,
that's
that
easy.
makes things very easy.
Yeah, our life is very easy now. Harpy.
All right. I was just trying to think if there's any way to stop it, and I guess not with protocol there. From
I mean,
them-
even if they stop it, it's like fine because then our Levy gets to go through, right?
yeah. So if they bring back Prime Banshee, they get to add back anything. If they bring this out, they get a monster.
This is actually bad for them. This is bait because now we get to trigger and get back Magnemite.
Oh, why is this? Oh, that it came back and it died. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was I got a little thrown off by the Marionette Arrive. For some reason I thought it didn't leave, but it's not the card they brought back. Okay.
What is the attribute of their Link 4? Is that a dark?
This one's dark. This one's also dark. Yeah, both of them are dark. This is light.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's great.
Their life's also 4,000. All right, they're adding Faker. They can't activate a trap this turn. So I don't know if that's... Maybe they don't have
Yeah.
the other one. Oh, I think I put this in the wrong side of the field.
Oh, no, you're perfect. This is
Okay.
great.
Now I was just thinking this should be the pyramid side now. This should be the L side.
It is, but that is actually your safe part of this pyramid.
Okay.
So the far right of your pyramid is your safe part where you can sometimes put bodies because you're really thinking about your Pisty and your triple burst zone that
Gotcha.
you're thinking about.
All right, so Pisty's always here. Triple Burst should always be pointing to open the zone. Okay.
Yep. And then we can always tag out too and like some of the Lubellion and get the beast. But honestly, I just want to summon Levianeer and just pop his monsters. Like, I don't think they have any protections, right?
No, they don't. Actually, this one might. Nope. I'm mistaken. Oh, if this card to be
All right.
destroyed, you can banish one monster from your graveyard instead.
Cool. Then let's summon a Levianeer, and I would put it all the way to the left.
All right. What
So
cards?
Seals, Collapse Serpent, and the Sarnir.
All the way to the left.
And then, yep. And then I would go Chainlink 1 Regained and Chainlink 2 Levy. Just a chain block. We're going to put back the Collapse. And we can just pop his big dudes.
This one can protect itself. Is there any way of dealing with it? Yeah,
How
it
does it
destroyed.
protect?
If
What
this card would be
is-
destroyed, you can banish one monster from your graveyard instead. We can pop both of these.
Oh, yeah. Then just pop the ones that don't protect themselves.
It says you can only use each effect of this card once per turn. I assume the protection is once per turn.
Oh, that's annoying.
Indeed.
Okay. What's our life points at?
We're at
Or there?
22. They're at 4,000.
Oh, okay, they're dead.
Yeah, they should be dead.
Summon out Lubellion, activate Beast,
Rebellion, tributing.
the Levianeer, because it can't attack. We get Beast from deck now for free. And then we can just summon the Safer and make Chaos Angel banishes monster and then attack for game.
Okay. Haven't gotten to test Chaos Angel so much. Should do that more.
Yeah, Chaos Angel, surprisingly, I don't make it as much as I thought I would. But
And it's unaffected by things, right? So they can't really dodge this.
yeah,
Cool.
we just go battle phase, go swing.
Nice. That didn't look like we were in the best spot there. That was cool.
Yeah, that's the thing with dragons is like you don't always have to look like you're super commanding the game state, but the deck just has such a good resource game that like you can just find your answers. Like Magnuma being a Rhoda for the entire deck just means as long as there's an answer in your deck, you always have access to it.
Let's see if we can get one more game in, because it has been 40 minutes since we started, so I don't want to hold you up forever, but we'll see if we can get one
No,
more.
you are all good.
Cool.
You are I love this deck with a passion. I could play this deck all day, so no worries.
You're mostly Master Duel on Twitch now, right?
Yeah, I feel like every time I get max seed, I get stronger. That's my training regimen for the TCG.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just not sure what your audience is used to nowadays, because you're still like live prep for big events and okay, when the dice roll again. And
Yeah.
also Master Duel is a thing. I'm not the biggest fan of Master Duel, but
Yeah, I'm all over the place personally. So,
we're going first.
yeah, this hand's really good. I would start with Regained. I love drawing this card. Like hard drawing Regained is so nice. And then I would just activate the Quick Launch. Yeah, that's totally fine. That
Should we
actually
do that
might-
first, or should we wait and see what they
No, just for them. Because we're just thinking of it like a normal summon. All we're doing is trying to put a dark into the graveyard for this Wyver Burster. And what we're going to do is because we have Chaos Space and Regained, we're going to be able to do like Master Duel type plays where we can loop back our Wyver Burster to hand and then we can pitch it for Levianeer later in our turn.
Okay, they rage quit,
Okay, well,
which is also
yep.
like Master Duel. You don't have to you don't have to sit through a full game. That's how I play a lot of festivals. If you don't open Max C, you might as well move on. Or you can't beat Max C. Anyways, let's try and get another match with someone who's going to play and not just flip our deck over.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's go for it. That's actually one of the things I really like about Dragons in Master Duel is that Dragons is one of it is a combo deck, so it does lose to Max C, but you do have good options into it because of the quick launches and stuff. So if they Max C me, I can just chain a quick launch and just go seals and pass.
This is not the usual getting double like insta scooped, although I'd say it's good for our record. Let's continue.
Yeah, we just have a powerful aura. They know that they're against Dragon Masters.
I don't know, maybe this name Zenith, maybe they're thinking, oh, it's Crystal Beast, I don't really want to play against it.
Maybe.
I'm actually glad to lose the dice roll to see what we do going second. I know we did versus Geist, but that's a weird match.
Yeah.
This card is affected by trap cards. It searches a field spell.
Yeah, we may as well impermanent because we can't hit Sarah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of things that this card will ever be useful against. I think all the main deck ones are unaffected by all normal traps, and then the extra decks are unaffected by traps altogether.
That sounds about right. And then we have Ash for Sarah as well, so that seems about right.
Alrighty. Now they have to throw away a trap card to get Ash now.
Yep, now we just Ash them.
Other
They
than-
honestly just concede because they're so neg.
Other than them having like Thrust set a trap card, I don't know what else they're gonna do.
Not much. Let's have one. Cool. So I like just start Lubellion here. Just grab a dude.
Also turns on the Druisworm right away. For some reason, we need to put it out there that quickly.
Exactly.
Ah,
Yeah. So they're just gonna grave dig. That's fine.
okay. Gravedigger will take 2,000.
Yep. Because they're going to. Yeah, that's fine. And depending on what they summon, we might be able to even impermanent.
We can imperm this. So
What
let's try and
is-
set the floodgate.
Can they activate it this turn?
No, they cannot.
I think it's fine to leave it then.
Okay, but we don't have any other targets really for this card. So it'll be a discard fodder.
It might be. I just don't think there's really much point in playing cards that we don't have to play.
Gotcha.
It's fine. No, they can't activate this one either, right?
No, neither of these have any ability to be activated this turn. Okay, cool.
So let's just go safer at normal, pray no Ash.
On itself, I would assume.
Yeah. If we wanted to play like super safe around Ash, we could have just attacked over the Sarah first. But I don't think it's necessary.
Black, white.
What's in our graveyard?
Fair question.
It's 2 lights, right?
2 lights, yes. The black?
Yeah, I would get black. And then I would probably banish the safer because we can always get safer back.
All right.
And then we're gonna make Striker, and Chainlink 1 will be Collapse. So this, I'll just bring this up just because a lot of people might have this question. Striker Dragon is not a choke point for this deck, at least not usually. So you're totally fine with the opponent negating Striker Dragon. So usually we use it to chain block for the babies because the babies usually do a little bit more. And then, yeah, I would just summon the Wyver Booster. We don't have Chaos Space or Regain this time. That was the
No,
last
we
time.
didn't get into them this time.
Yep.
They won't ever have a dark in their graveyard.
Yeah.
I imagine we're
So-
Romulus pitch Imperm Foolish Absa Router.
It's a little bit weird, actually. What I was going to say for us to do, and we can't do it now, is I was actually going to Druid's Worm banish the Collapse first, then
Oh.
summon the Lubellion and activate the Regained. We could then use that to send something off their board, and then we get a free draw as well. But
Oh.
that's okay. Yeah, this is fine. So we can just make Romulus. It's just a little bit awkward now because we don't have a level 4 to make Pisty with, but I think we can still get to one, so I think it's still going to be okay.
All right.
Let's see. Let's go Druid's Worm, banish the Striker, because we unfortunately do not have Regained at the moment, so there's no point in keeping it. So yeah, now we just do the same play now and just get our Regain now.
All right. So Lubellion Tribute.
Yeah. It actually might. No, yeah, getting Regain is still correct here. So we can use Druis and probably just get rid of.
Defense position monster. This can do something. Wait. They
Can it?
activated. When did they activate this? Last turn. So this has a graveyard effect. Banish
Then-
it, special a trap tricks from grave. Pudica can banish a card and then we get a card back next turn. So we could just leave this for as long as possible.
Yeah, we'll attack over it later. So I would just get rid of Dianeta then.
All right.
Because I think we're going to go for a Borland line now. So let's just get the thing, because they're not going to be able to deal with Borland, I don't think.
All right. Regained.
And then we can go Dragon Ravine, pitch the Imperm. So what if we had played this just slightly differently? We would have been able to loop one of the baby dragons, and the baby dragon would then become our discard, so we'd still have an Imperm set.
Okay. In this matchup, it doesn't really matter because it's probably not live a lot of the time, but I could see that mattering. Okay.
Yeah, it's just those minor optimizations that push the deck like way further than it ever should go.
Gotcha.
Yeah, now it's just like easy for Boot Sector into Tracer, summon Recharger,
Zone placement doesn't matter.
usually just all the way to the right.
All right.
So anything that isn't completed yet, usually just put it into the faraway zones because you don't want to lock yourself out, like just in case something happens. If they had a Book Moon or something.
All right. Pop Boot Sector, summon Recharger.
And then I would use the Recharger as material. Yep, to the right. Perfect. And then we're going to use the Lubellion and the Recharger. So we're gonna make Pisty in the far left, and then we're gonna make Triple Burst using the Lubellion. Yep, perfect. And then we can summon back our Safer that we banished at the start of the turn. Oh, actually, I think we had an even better play that I'm just now realizing.
What was the general play line? Just to.
Yeah, so we just missed Lethal,
Oh.
and that's totally on me
Because
because
I
I was
screwed up
trying
the
to
other
figure
half.
it out.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I guess we'll figure it out later. Let's try and deal with their
Yeah, you're
board.
just So let's just check our extra deck real quick. I think we're just going Borland.
These are what we can summon now.
Yeah, let's just go for Borland. and
Be
then-
safer.
Yeah, we're gonna just leave the Tracer, and then you can negate like Sarah or something, get your Recharger back, and then just make Savage.
I guess the Savage can negate the trap card in graveyard. Neither of these trap cards do anything unless we summon anything, and they're not useful till next turn.
And unless the card that they're summoning back does something really crazy, it doesn't even matter if they summon it, because then we would get a free summon back as well off of Regained, as well as being able to attack it again. So now you
we
can go
should let
safer.
it summon, but then we should use Regained and then. Oh wait,
Yeah,
if we use
Yeah,
Regained.
it just depends on what they're doing.
Oh,
I was gonna say use the Safer, get back the Lubellion, draw a card,
here's
because then
the-
if you find a beast, yeah, if you draw a bestial, then it's still lethal. So what the lethal line is you summon back the Striker and you target the Pisty and the Recharger, and then you use the Recharger to then summon back itself, and then you have access code plus. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm just thinking about turn player and what would happen. So if they summon, we get to activate Regained as turn player.
Yeah, we're not gonna negate anything,
Okay.
but it doesn't do anything. It's just a Link monster with 400 attack points. So we'll get the Redeclare, and they're just gonna die now. Oh wait, they didn't target the Link one. That's
No,
fine.
this is what I thought they'd bring out. But the question was
That's
whether or not they would activate it. If they activate it, we can just negate it with Savage. It would just banish something.
Yeah, we just negate with Savage. But yeah, the idea was that we could have gone access code plus Savage, and then because they had two cards, we just pop, and then the Savage negates the graveyard, and then we just attack for 92, 95.
Gotcha.
But this is still fine too.
I'm actually going to save this replay and we'll run through it later because I actually think there's plenty of stuff to look at in there. Because now what can we do?
Yeah. Now we're just gonna do what we would have done before. So he's at what, 20? Is that 21 or 26? I
28.
can't really say.
28.
Oh, okay. Then it's fine then. Yeah, you just use the safer get back the Lubellion to your hand, and then you put it back with regain, draw a card.
All right, so we needed to draw a Bestial for that, right?
No, because
Oh.
it doesn't really matter.
Huh.
Yeah, we're still passing.
Okay.
This change.
Just because now there's trap cards here, so I'm just like thinking, is there any reason
Yeah,
to
but
put
they're
this on the board?
reactive, right?
They are.
Yeah, and they have no out to Borland, so they're just going to like set another trap, and then we're gonna go straight to battle phase and kill them. We just dragged out the match by 1 turn.
Oh.
But like we had Borland or Boral Savage plus access code, so that's why I was just like I just missed it. But
Well, I went too
yeah.
fast also. I guess we...
Yeah, it's fine. So what does that one do?
It adds a monster. It also has a quick effect to add a trap from the field back to the hand to set a trap card. So if we just Boral end it, they can't respond, and that'll just end it.
I would actually just not Borland it at all.
They're not going to be able to summon another... I guess they couldn't have exactly Arachnocampa, which we could then just negate with Savage. What-
Yeah, like this is just a Stratos. I don't think we have to do anything
Okay.
because it's a trap deck. Because what would happen more likely is that they
Well,
would.
now this would stop both of its effects.
Yeah, but we don't care about its effects.
Okay.
They don't do anything.
'Cause I'm just trying to think of what card in their hand would actually do anything.
Nothing. They're playing trap tricks.
That's why I thought we might negate it, just because there's nothing else to negate.
No, I think it's actually way better for us to negate the Sarah because it's a permanent negate.
Uh,
And then because that's a more important effect to negate.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, this is the extender. I guess we can negate whatever it brings out. Or maybe they'll go Sarah and then summon that.
No, I think we just wait for their extra deck monster and
yeah,
negate
yeah,
that.
yeah. You're not wrong.
Because
I was just
'cause, like-
thinking like, oh, that card's important.
what is that one?
Parallel Exceed.
Yeah, I think you negate that, right?
We know for sure they have Parallel Exceed and Arachnocampa. Neither one can do anything. Like, I was thinking the worst thing that can happen is we negate and then they have Thrust, but we have Savage. But Parallel Exceed is worth negating, I'd say.
Because that's just 2 free bodies.
Yeah.
Arachnocampa is like 1 body, right?
Yeah. And it would just be summoned probably to trigger this. It also locks into the trap tricks.
And then we just negate Sarah.
Yeah. And then at best they can make a Link 2, and the Link 2 in this deck is good, but it doesn't work in the scenario in any meaningful manner.
Yeah.
Oh, they scooped, and I forgot to save the replay. Actually, I do have the replay. This program saves the last replay.
Perfect.
We could just briefly stop where we get to the point where we would have zigged instead of zagged and see what the options were.
Yeah, there was only one option, and that was just summon Striker back.
Is this game 1? Or we only played
We
game
only
1?
played 1 game. They quit after game 1.
Okay. So they Gravediggers.
Yep.
They Sarah summoned Dionea. We left Dionea alone because we didn't care about the trap cards. This sets trap tricks. We activate this. Okay.
Yep. So I would pause here. This was the first place where we could have done something different. So after we searched the Wyver, we just summoned Druis instead of summoning
By
the baby.
banishing
because-
black.
Yeah, same banish because it's still a dark, so you're still going to have a banish target for her. So you just summon the Druis and then summon out the Lubellion. Lubellion then activates regained, and then you just continue as normal, make the Romulus, search your cards, send a card with Druis Worm. But then when we summon the Wyver Burster, we can banish the Collapse Serpent, and then that
Which means
draws
the-
us a card off
okay.
the regain, and
And we
then
get the search again.
and then the search becomes the free discard. So we can potentially change how we want to combo if we draw, I don't know, Tracer. Like if we draw a Tracer, we can do something different. But if you don't, you just have the same line where you just go Dragon Ravine, pitch the Collapse Serpent because it can't summon itself again. And then you just get your Tracer for free and you just have a free drawn card earlier in your turn rather than later.
Okay, cool. So let's proceed and we'll see the other line.
Yep.
Okay, I'm glad you caught it so quickly. Definitely a master of this.
Can't say master because I didn't tell us to kill them.
It's
sometimes easy to miss stuff.
the first time I did like a dragon deck video, because I've done this before 3 times.
Sure.
The player I was working with, like, he would say something and I'd misinterpret it because I had started testing the deck like a week before. So I kept doing like slightly off of what he meant. So partially it's me going too fast, so I have to slow down.
No,
Partially.
it's okay. Yeah, no, I take full fault on that. Yeah, what we could do here is instead of targeting these safer, so like normally I just go for like standard kind of resource plays when I'm going second, because normally I'm not facing against 2 monsters and 2 dead back row that do nothing. But because we're specifically in the state where it's, oh, they only have 2 cards that we have to deal with to kill them, we could have specifically gone the Striker back here. And then Striker, so what's really cool is a lot of people don't think the access code comes up very much anymore because it's so hard to get into, blah, 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 blah. It's actually very easy. You just make your triple burst and your Pisty, and then you summon the Striker back. Striker then can pop the Pisty
So that's the extra deck Dark Monster.
Correct.
All right.
And it targets Recharger. And then if you don't know the interaction, because Striker is a simultaneous add and pop,
And if you do conjunction, yeah.
you are allowed on the next chain to trigger the Recharger because theoretically,
It could have
you
been an
could
army.
have it could have already been in your hand.
Just like
Even if there's
Multi-Faker.
no cards in your hand,
Of course.
it could have been there.
Obviously, it was there.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
can't-
of
they
course.
can't, they
So
can't prove it. They can't judge check us.
exactly.
And even if they
Uh,
could, they just ruled that it's like that for all those cards just so there's no dispute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then you can pop. And what's interesting is Recharger can even summon itself back when it does that. It just can't summon the card that was destroyed. And you can summon any dark in your grave.
But that's our level 4 for our Synchro.
Exactly. So you could make the Savage there and you just then have an Omni Negate. And like we could have also summoned the Druis Worm. Like if we wanted to get really greedy, we could summon Druis, make Dissipator, summon back the Safer, and then we would have had an extra little bit of damage if we needed the damage. But because we know that he would have a graveyard effect that could like create a battle disruption, we just have the Savage to negate that and we're safe. We make the access code after making Savage, or we make the access code first, then we make Savage so that it gets the triple burst. So it has 4,200 attack. And then you can freely banish your Romulus and one card, pop the 2 monsters on his field, and then that is 53 plus 42. And we have a negate for his graveyard effect. So there's no way he can stop it without Nibiru in his hand. So it's just a very safe way to go for lethal.
Cool. All right. I'm glad that came up and that you could see the scenario so clearly. All right, great. All right, let's go back to deck list real fast and just discuss anything that may not have come up. I don't think we have time for another game.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Is there anything that you think is worth mentioning before we wrap up here? Because I think we saw a lot, and seeing how many options are available is pretty wild.
Yeah. Like this deck is the definition of flexible, I would say.
Like we didn't get
You
into
know,
a
I
lot
just-
of the big tens and
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely come up in more advanced game states, but these were some very easy matchups against like back row decks where we didn't really have to do anything too complicated. So yeah, I think the kind of like the flexibility with the extra deck is that the King of Tomb and the Scarlet, those I would say are the flex spots. In my YCS list, I played Delindrus and Quadboral as well in those slots instead. So you really have a lot of flexibility in those slots. Some people play a second copy of Seals. You can really just do whatever you want in those slots. You can also potentially cut the Chaos Angel as well, because personally, we did make it in this session, but personally, I don't think this card comes up too often. But where it is nice is when you don't have a tuner and you do just want to make a big body that has removal. So I've left it in. But yeah, I think that the extra deck has those like maybe 2-3 flex spots. The side deck is pretty flexible. I really think the only stuff that's like mandatory are the thrusts into Ruma Cannon, along with the 1 Talons and 1 Harpies, just as like your thrust package, because thrust for the Daruma is just like the only way that you beat Dimension Shifter into Kashtira. Other than that, though, the deck is very flexible. There's a lot you can do with it, a lot of different ways to build the deck, and a lot of different ways to play it, too. I think the deck really isn't one of those decks that has like a strictly linear combo. I think it's way more about just testing the waters and seeing what your opponent has and just reacting in the best way that you can manage to however your opponent interrupts you.
all right. It seems really flexible in how you get to a desired end state. Like you're not required for particular play to go off exactly as intended, at least not at the beginning of the combo or however you start. You seem to.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the pitfall that like if I can teach people anything, it's to not fall into a pitfall of thinking that Dragons is a combo deck. Dragons is just like its own little thing where it falls outside of like easy classifications because there isn't like a standard combo that you're going for. And it's more about finding out what the opponent does to you, reacting to it, and just playing whichever way. You have multiple modes. Like you could go full combo, or you could go just Seals Pass. And I think
the
where this
FTK.
deck really shines, yeah, I think where this deck really shines is just like your opponent hand traps you twice, and then you say, "I'm gonna summon Seals now," and then you get rid of one of their cards and you search Magma and get follow up like we did in that first match, just searching our Levianeer. I don't think Seals ever actually resolved. I think it was just tutoring Magma into Levianeer.
Yeah, it got
Yeah, those
imperm
matches.
twice, and once we actually bounced something, I think we recycled Striker Dragon, which is a couple of fun
Yep.
ways to do that. Besides, like you have regained, you have Chaos Space. I think you can Seals bounce it back from being attached to Savage is a funny one, I think.
Yep, that's a really good play. I've definitely done that before. which is something that maybe is another thing to mention for people who don't play dragons, is that the effects for like the negates for Savage is not tied to the card it equips. It's actually the only thing that's tied to the equip is the attack gain. There's a lot of players who will, if you have like Savage on the field, they'll like Harpy Feather Duster you, thinking that it stops the Savage from negating stuff. It does not, because the equip places counters on the Savage, and the counters are the negates. The equip is only the attack boost.
Gotcha. All right, cool. I think that's going to wrap everything up. Everyone, once again, go check out Michael Thomas on Trishula on YouTube and Trishula TV on Twitch. Anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, those are my main platforms. I'm on Twitch all the time. I also offer coaching on Metafy for those interested. I just really helping out my students. I think a lot of them have done really well with dragons after even just one session. I hurt myself in that way. I almost over prepare them.
All right, cool. So if you found this useful, I'm sure this isn't like a regular session, but maybe this will give you an idea of how prepared you'll be if you work with Trish here. All right. Thanks again for coming on, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. See y'all next time.